Right now, as you're watching this, cancer cells are forming inside your body. Not tomorrow, not if you eat badly, right now. And here's what almost no doctor will tell you. That's completely normal. It happens to every human being, every single day. But here's what changes everything. Most of those cancer cells never become dangerous. They never grow. They never spread. They self-destruct automatically. And the reason comes down to one specific bacteria living inside your gut. If you have enough of it, your immune system hunts down and destroys cancer cells before they ever become a problem. If you don't, and most people over 60 don't, those cells get a free pass to grow. Hi, I'm Dr. Andrew Collins. I've spent years working directly with oncology patients, people mid-treatment, people in remission, people fighting recurrence. And what I've seen repeatedly has completely changed how I think about cancer. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what this bacteria is, why most seniors are dangerously deficient in it, and the specific foods that rebuild it, starting this week. We'll cover the hidden mechanism that turns harmless cancer clusters into dangerous tumors, the landmark study that shocked cancer researchers worldwide, and the exact daily protocol to activate your body's natural defenses. Quick favor. Many people watch my videos without realizing they haven't subscribed. Check right now. It's free, takes 2 seconds, and helps this reach people who genuinely need it. Now, let's get into the science. Your body is made of approximately 40 trillion cells. Every single one of those cells has to divide and copy itself to keep you alive. And every time a cell copies itself, it has to copy your DNA, the genetic instruction manual that tells each cell exactly what to do. Now, copying DNA is an enormous job. We're talking about 20,000 to 30,000 genes being duplicated over and over, every single day. And just like if I asked you to type the same sentence 40 trillion times, eventually you are going to make mistakes. Those mistakes are called mutations. And mutations are where cancer begins. Think of it like a photocopier running non-stop for decades. The first 100 copies come out perfect. But run that machine long enough, and you start getting pages with smudges, errors, missing words. That's what's happening inside your cells right now, every single day. Most of those mutated cells are caught and corrected immediately. Your body has a built-in spell checker for DNA. But some slip through, and those cells become microscopic clusters of cancer. Now here's the crucial thing I need you to understand. Those microscopic clusters cannot hurt you on their own. A tumor without access to blood vessels cannot grow larger than the tip of a ballpoint pen. It can sit there, frozen, completely harmless, for years, decades even. You would never know it was there. It would never cause you a single problem. So why do some people develop dangerous, life-threatening cancer while others never do? It comes down to 2 things. The first is angiogenesis, the growth of new blood vessels. Cancer cells are remarkably clever. They release proteins called growth factors, chemical signals that essentially instruct your body to grow new blood vessels directly into the tumor. The moment that happens, everything changes. Research has measured this with extraordinary precision. A tumor completely isolated from blood supply stays frozen at 1 to 2 millimeters, smaller than a grain of rice. But the moment blood vessels reach that tumor, it can grow 16,000 times its original size in just 14 days. Think about that carefully. A pinpoint becomes a grape in 2 weeks. That is the difference between a harmless cluster of cells sitting silently in your body and a life-threatening tumor that shows up on a scan. This is why preventing tumor angiogenesis, cutting off that blood supply before it connects, is one of the most powerful anti-cancer strategies we have. And as you'll see in a moment, certain foods can do exactly that. The second factor, and this is where the bacteria comes in, is your immune system. Your immune system is like a security patrol constantly scanning your body for problems. When it's functioning properly, it spots those microscopic cancer clusters and eliminates them before they ever get a chance to recruit blood vessels. Think of it like a perfectly trained police force driving through your neighborhood 24 hours a day. The moment something suspicious appears, they deal with it immediately. The dangerous element never gets a foothold. But what happens when that police force gets weakened? When the patrol cars stop showing up regularly, the cancer cells start operating freely. They find their blood supply. They grow. And by the time symptoms appear, they've often been growing for years. Here's what the latest research is now showing us with absolute clarity. The single biggest factor determining whether your immune system can do this job effectively, whether your security patrol stays sharp or goes quiet, is one specific bacteria called Akkermansia mucinifila. And most people over 60 are critically deficient in it. Akkermansia mucinifila. Remember that name. It lives in the mucosal lining of your gut, that protective inner layer separating your intestinal wall from everything passing through it. And its job is to maintain that barrier, regulate inflammation, and keep your immune system calibrated, active, and ready. But here's what makes Akkermansia so critical specifically for cancer. Researchers at the Gustave Roussy Cancer Center in France, one of the most respected oncology research institutions in the world, conducted a landmark study on 200 cancer patients, all receiving immunotherapy treatment. Now, immunotherapy is one of the most exciting developments in cancer medicine in the past 2 decades. Unlike chemotherapy, which attacks everything healthy and cancerous alike, immunotherapy works by boosting your own immune system's ability to recognize and destroy cancer cells specifically. For some patients, the results are nothing short of miraculous. People with stage 3, stage 4 cancers, cancers that were considered nearly untreatable, have gone into complete, sustained remission. Some of them 10 years later, still completely cancer-free. But for other patients, receiving the exact same treatment, the exact same doses, immunotherapy does almost nothing. The researchers wanted to understand why. So they analyzed stool samples from all 200 patients before treatment began and looked for biological differences that could explain the gap in outcomes. The results were stunning. The only significant difference between patients who responded dramatically to immunotherapy and patients who saw no benefit at all was a single factor: the presence of Akkermansia mucinifila in their gut. Patients with high levels of Akkermansia responded to immunotherapy at rates that genuinely shocked the research team. Their immune systems essentially woke up, recognized the cancer, and destroyed it systematically. Patients with low or absent Akkermansia, their immune systems could not be activated. The treatment that should have saved their lives produced almost no response. Now let me be very direct about what this means. This is not about accessing an experimental drug. This is not about a clinical trial available only to a handful of patients. This is about a bacteria that you can actively grow inside your own body, starting this week, using specific foods available at your local grocery store. And here is where I need you to pay very close attention. Because Akkermansia doesn't only matter if you're already dealing with cancer, it matters right now, today, to determine whether your immune system is capable of catching and eliminating those microscopic cancer clusters forming in your body every single day. Without adequate Akkermansia, your immune patrol weakens. Microscopic cancers that should be identified and eliminated get overlooked. They find their blood supply. They grow silently. With strong Akkermansia levels, your immune system stays sharp. Cancer cells are caught early, eliminated efficiently. They never get the chance to become dangerous. And there's one more thing the research showed that I want you to hear. A patient with multiple myeloma was preparing to begin immunotherapy. She had recently completed a course of antibiotics for a respiratory infection, which, as many antibiotics do, had severely depleted her Akkermansia levels. Her doctor made a decision. He delayed treatment for 3 weeks and had her consume 8 ounces of pure pomegranate juice daily. After those 3 weeks, her Akkermansia levels had increased to 6 times the normal population average. When she began immunotherapy, she responded in the top 1% of all patients with her diagnosis. Her cancer essentially disappeared after just 3 treatments. That is the power of this bacteria. That is what rebuilding it can do. Now, let me show you exactly how to do it. Before I go through these foods, one important point. You can buy Akkermansia as a supplement, and if you genuinely cannot access these foods regularly, a quality supplement has its place. But food is never just a delivery system for one compound. When you eat these foods, you're getting hundreds of compounds, Polyphenols, flavonoids, fiber, antioxidants, all working together in ways science is still discovering. The whole food is always more powerful than any isolated supplement. With that said, let's get specific. Food number 1 is pomegranate. You want 4 ounces of pure pomegranate juice daily, or half a fresh pomegranate. Pomegranate is the single most powerful food for growing Akkermansia mucinifera in your gut. Here's the mechanism. Pomegranates contain compounds called ellagitannins, a specific type of polyphenol that your gut bacteria convert into a molecule called urolithin A. Urolithin A directly stimulates the growth and activity of Akkermansia along your gut lining. It is essentially targeted fertilizer for the exact bacteria your immune system needs to fight cancer effectively. This is the same compound driving the case I just described, the multiple myeloma patient whose Akkermansia levels reached 6 times normal after 3 weeks of daily pomegranate juice. For daily prevention, you don't need 8 ounces. 4 ounces of pure pomegranate juice with no added sugar, or half a fresh pomegranate, provides sufficient ellagitannins to actively support Akkermansia growth. You can also get ellagitannins from walnuts, raspberries, and dried cranberries. Rotating between these foods gives you variety while maintaining the benefit consistently. One preparation tip: drink your pomegranate juice on an empty stomach when possible. The ellagitannins reach your gut lining faster and are absorbed more efficiently without food competing for digestion. Food number 2 is green tea. You want 3 cups of properly brewed green tea daily. Green tea contains a compound called EGCG, epigallocatechin gallate. And when researchers tested EGCG against tumor angiogenesis, the blood vessel growth process that allows tumors to explode in size, the results were extraordinary. EGCG was as effective at blocking abnormal blood vessel growth as some experimental cancer drugs, a beverage humans have consumed for thousands of years, performing on par with pharmaceutical compounds developed specifically to fight cancer. A study from the Chinese University of Hong Kong followed 68,000 women for over 10 years. Women who drank green tea regularly, at least 3 cups per week, had a 27% lower risk of developing colorectal cancer compared to non-tea drinkers. But here's the critical detail most people miss entirely, and it destroys most of the benefit if you get it wrong. You must brew your tea correctly. Heat water to 175 degrees Fahrenheit, steaming but not boiling. If your water reaches a full boil, let it cool for 3 full minutes before steeping. Steep your tea for 3 to 5 minutes. Then, and this step matters enormously, add lemon juice. This single addition increases EGCG absorption by 6 times because vitamin C stabilizes the catechins in your digestive system. Do not add dairy milk. The proteins in dairy bind directly to the beneficial compounds and block absorption completely. If you need to lighten your tea, use almond or oat milk. And never buy bottled green tea from a store. Most bottled varieties contain minimal active compounds and significant added sugar. Brew it yourself from leaves, every time. Food number 3 is blueberries. You want 1 cup daily, fresh or frozen. Blueberries contain anthocyanins, the blue-purple pigments responsible for the fruit's color. And these anthocyanins do something remarkable for your immune system's cancer-fighting capacity. A study measured immune cell counts in participants before and after 6 weeks of daily blueberry consumption, 1.5 cups per day. At the end of 6 weeks, participants had 88% more T cells circulating in their bloodstream. T cells are your immune system's specialized cancer hunters, the cells designed specifically to identify abnormal cells and destroy them. An 88% increase is not marginal improvement. That is nearly doubling your frontline cancer defense force. A larger study from the University of East Anglia tracked nearly 200,000 people for over 20 years. Those who consumed the highest amounts of anthocyanin-rich foods had a 17% lower overall cancer risk. For colorectal cancer specifically, risk reduction reached 40%. Frozen blueberries are sometimes higher in anthocyanins than fresh, picked and frozen at peak ripeness. Fresh or frozen, both work perfectly. Critical point: consistency is everything with blueberries. 1 cup every day is exponentially more effective than 7 cups eaten in a single day. Your immune system responds to steady, regular input. not occasional large doses. Think of it like maintaining a fire. Steady fuel keeps it burning consistently. Sporadic large additions cause brief flare-ups followed by dying embers. Feed it steadily, every day. Food number 4 is kiwi fruit. You want 1 to 3 kiwis daily. Kiwi is one of the most underestimated foods in cancer prevention. Most people never consider it a serious health food. The research says otherwise. A study from the University of Oslo in Norway recruited 43 healthy adults and had them eat 1, 2, or 3 kiwis daily for 3 weeks. Researchers then measured DNA damage in participants' cells using the COMET assay, a technique that literally shows broken DNA strands under a microscope. Participants eating 1 kiwi daily showed 60% less DNA damage compared to their starting baseline. 1 fruit, 60% protection against DNA damage. Participants eating 3 kiwis daily showed something even more striking. Not only was new DNA damage being prevented, but existing damage was being actively repaired. Their cells showed a 60% improvement in DNA repair capacity. The mechanism is vitamin C working synergistically with polyphenols, flavonoids, and carotenoids unique to kiwi. This is why a vitamin C supplement alone cannot replicate this. The compounds in a whole kiwi enhance each other's effects in ways no isolated supplement can match. Practical tip: if you buy organic, eat the skin. It contains additional fiber and polyphenols. If the texture bothers you, golden kiwis have smooth skin and are equally beneficial. Slice in half, scoop with a spoon, or blend into a morning smoothie. For general prevention, 1 kiwi daily is sufficient. If you have a family history of cancer, or you've had cancer and want to actively support your recovery, aim for 3 daily. Food number 5 is broccoli sprouts. You want a quarter cup 3 to 4 times per week. Here's the one that surprises almost everyone. Most people know broccoli is healthy. What almost nobody knows is that broccoli sprouts, the 3 to 4 day old seedlings, contain 100 times more of the active cancer-fighting compound than fully mature broccoli. That compound is called sulforaphane. It activates your body's detoxification pathways, regulates genes responsible for suppressing tumor growth, and has direct anti-cancer effects at the cellular level. A study from Johns Hopkins University found that a small handful of broccoli sprouts delivers as much sulforaphane as several pounds of mature broccoli. You can find broccoli sprouts in most grocery stores near other fresh produce, or grow them yourself at home in a jar. It takes approximately 4 days and costs almost nothing. One preparation rule that cannot be skipped: never boil broccoli sprouts. Boiling destroys sulforaphane entirely. Lightly steam for 3 to 4 minutes. This actually increases sulforaphane bioavailability compared to eating raw. Steam only. Never boil. If sprouts aren't available, eat regular broccoli, but prioritize the stems over the florets. The stems contain approximately twice as much sulforaphane as the tops. Don't discard them. Now that you have the 5 core foods, let me give you the clinical tips that separate good results from exceptional ones. Tip number 1: timing matters significantly. Your immune system and DNA repair mechanisms are most active during sleep. Eat your DNA protective foods, kiwi and blueberries, earlier in the day. Your body will have time to absorb and distribute those nutrients before sleep begins. Save green tea for the afternoon, and avoid heavy meals within 3 hours of bedtime. Active digestion diverts resources away from cellular repair and immune surveillance. Give your body a clear runway to do its most critical maintenance work overnight. Tip number 2: combine foods strategically. Certain combinations create synergistic effects far more powerful than individual foods alone. Green tea with lemon increases EGCG absorption 6 times. Pomegranate juice on an empty stomach maximizes Akkermansia growth. Blueberries with kiwi gives you combined anthocyanins and vitamin C for simultaneous immune and DNA protection. A morning smoothie with blueberries, kiwi, and a splash of pomegranate juice gives you 3 of the 5 key compounds before breakfast is even finished. Tip number 3: consistency beats intensity. Always. This is the mistake I see most often. People get motivated, eat all 5 foods for a few days, then return to old habits for 2 weeks. That does not work. Akkermansia needs daily feeding to maintain its population in your gut. Your T-cell levels need consistent anthocyanin support to stay elevated. 1 cup of blueberries every day is far more powerful than 7 cups eaten on a single day. Steady, consistent. every day. Tip number 4, add foods. Don't just eliminate. Patients who focus on adding beneficial foods rather than obsessing over eliminating everything they love are far more successful long term. Don't think, I can never eat anything enjoyable again. Think, I'm adding blueberries to my breakfast and pomegranate juice to my morning. As protective foods fill more of your day, they naturally crowd out less beneficial choices. The approach becomes sustainable for years, not just weeks. Let me bring everything together for you. Your body forms microscopic cancer cells every single day. This is normal biology, not a reason to panic. The reason most of us never develop dangerous cancer is that our immune systems catch and eliminate those cells before they become a problem. The key to that immune surveillance, the deciding factor between your body handling cancer silently or letting it grow, is Akkermansia muciniphala. Research from one of the world's leading cancer centers showed it clearly. Patients with high Akkermansia responded to immunotherapy. Patients without it often didn't respond at all. Same treatment, same doses. The bacteria made the difference, and you can rebuild it. Starting this week, with food, here is your complete protocol. Pomegranate, 4 ounces of pure juice or half a fresh pomegranate daily. Directly feeds and grows Akkermansia through L-argintannins and urolithin A. Green tea, 3 properly brewed cups daily. Blocks tumor blood vessel growth. Always add lemon. Never add dairy milk. Blueberries, 1 cup daily, fresh or frozen. Builds T cells by up to 88%. Reduces cancer risk up to 40% in long-term studies. Kiwi, 1 to 3 daily. Repairs existing DNA damage and prevents new damage with 60% demonstrated effectiveness. Broccoli sprouts, a quarter cup, 3 to 4 times weekly. 100 times more sulforaphane than mature broccoli. Steam only, never boil. These 5 foods work through multiple overlapping mechanisms, rebuilding your cancer-fighting bacteria, blocking tumor blood supply, repairing DNA, and directly activating your immune cells. Here is what I want you to carry with you after this video. You are not helpless against cancer. You are not simply waiting for it to find you. Your immune system can recognize and eliminate cancer cells. Your body already has the systems to control blood vessel growth and starve tumors. Your cells can repair damaged DNA. These systems exist inside you right now. The only question is whether you are giving them the nutritional support they need to function at full capacity. Now you know exactly what that support looks like. Now you can start. If this gave you something valuable, something real that your doctor hasn't told you, please subscribe and give this video a like. It helps me reach more seniors who need this information. I'll see you in the next one.